Hi everyone, in this video I'm going to go over some of the photos that I took and also some of the background information about a photo shoot that I had for a magazine company which I do quite a lot of shots for, called Runner's World. It's a magazine in the UK about people trying to build up their running for marathons or just general running in general. What I've done is on my blog, you'll see over here, I have done a big blog giving you all the details of what I was asked to get, what I was looking for, the situations and all that kind of stuff. What I haven't put on there is the actual final shots which I've sent off to the magazine, because obviously copyright, because I was shooting for them and I can't really put the final photos that they put in the magazine onto my website, but they're pretty close. They're the unedited versions that have been put onto the blog. So have a little check of that afterwards. Feel free to copy and paste it and print it out and have it if you want to read at another time. But that's on the blog. So I'm just going to go over some of the photos that we had. It was a shoot for Runner's World, and in the shoot they asked me to do dramatic looking, powerful images of the two runners. We were trying to beat their personal best times. And the first one was with a guy called Hamish, and we will just go through some of the shots. Definitely had to use flash. The last couple of days in Scotland the weather was terrible, it's just dull and boring. And as you can see, even in the background of these photos, it is just a bit of a grey, boring sky. So that's where you really have to underexpose the image. So let's see a shot where I've underexposed it. So yeah, so that's an underexposed one. And that gives you kind of a bit more of an interesting looking sky. But you've got to bring in some flash, otherwise the runner or the model is just going to be very dark. I'll just show, for example, here. In this shot, this is it where it's exposed, so it's kind of correct. And the sky, you've got a little bit of detail in there. But because the sun is coming from the right hand side, you're getting light on the side of the model, but it's just, you're not really seeing him very well. So that's where you've got to bring in a little bit of flash. And that's where, let's see this one. So there, so what I haven't done any of the straightening or cropping or anything on this. This was just me kind of blasting out the shots as fast as possible. And as you can see there, the light now is coming from the side of the flash. Is actually pretty much the same colour temperature as the sun. The sun might be a little bit more around about 4,000, meanwhile the flash is around about 5,000, but it's not too bad. It's not like it's blue and orange. So for them to be looking strong and confident, we've got to remember these aren't kind of models that you'd be normally shooting with if you're trying to do like a fashion clothes or something. These guys just don't really know what they're doing. The magazine just contacted them and said, "Hi, can we take some shots of you?" So they're usually a little bit nervous. So you just got to talk and guide them through the whole kind of process of what you're doing. And so here, for them to look strong and powerful, hands on hips or arms crossed, that's pretty much all that you need to do. We're not kind of twisting hips, we're not going funky angles. Also, we're trying to look kind of beyond the camera. For this, the idea is that they're looking at their future. They're looking at their personal best. They're visualizing that they're going to be doing a time which is much better than what they've done before. So it's not staring into the camera, it's staring past the camera. So not too much of staring straight towards me. Now with this, I was shooting with a wide angle lens and I'm shooting kind of up. Now doing that gives a kind of a more dominant look to the model, and also if we have the sun directly behind him, as you can see here, the sun is right behind him, then we've got this great kind of aura of light that's coming from behind. As you can see, there's a kind of cool kind of halo of light just behind all his arms there, which looks quite good. But the problem with that shot is I haven't cropped it. If I were to use that shot, I would most definitely bring that right down, so maybe it's something like that. That way he's taking much more of the picture. And also if you're doing it for a magazine, you always want to think about leaving some dead space at the side for them to put any kind of text down the side. Sometimes you just don't even want to crop. You'll leave that for the magazine to do themselves. So you might just give them a fairly large shot there, and if that's the shot that you give them, they might go, "Brilliant, okay, we'll crop it. We want him to be on the left-hand side," and they'll do something like that. So you kind of give them bigger pictures. The cropping you should really leave for the magazine to do for themselves, unless they've asked you to make it sure that they want you to crop it how you want it to be. One thing to definitely do is do straightening though, and that's kind of a definite thing to do. So let's see, we've got that. So yeah, these shots I was very happy with. Hands on hips looking good. crossed arms. So there, what was happening is the flash didn't trigger at the same time. Every time you take a photo when you're doing flash outdoors and you're using a little pop-up flash, on your camera, you really need to make sure that the light from this is definitely hitting the flash that is going to be illuminating your subject. And here it didn't, so I needed to make sure that the connection or the communication between the flash and the camera were working correctly. And when I did that, there is a slight change of the model's head, and the sun is just popping behind it, causing this huge amount of flare thing. And so we just a tiny little move, and that's it sorted. That's him in the right position now. Great colour, great lighting, and everything there. So I was really kind of happy with that. The other thing about underexposing for the background means that if there's anything in the background, like here you could possibly see there's a person with their dog doing a poo. It's good to have that kind of, yeah, maybe not sure. It's good to have that so that if it's underexposed, nobody will really see that. And that is very easy to take out with the brush. Just click on him there, and that's him gone. Super. Brilliant. Okay, so that was the first shoot. That was done in Edinburgh, and then the next one was through in Glasgow, where I was shooting a lady instead. And getting through to Glasgow was a bit of a nightmare. The weather was terrible, and we were about an hour late, which was really kind of not good. But the good thing about being late was that the weather cleared up, and we actually ended up getting some shots. Here you're seeing shots of the dog. That's just because the dogs just take a love to me and my assistant that was helping me out on the day, Gamma. They seem to be magnetically charged towards us. And another thing we're going to look for is the white balance. So this shot, if I can show you what it was originally like, on the left is what it was originally like, and on the right is exactly the same photo, but with a little bit of exposure compensation down, and the white balance totally changed as well. So before we were shooting at 8,000, and then the after shot we're going around about 4,000, 4,000, 5,000 kind of area, and that gives a much more kind of punch to the sky. It looks a lot better that way. Now with these shots, I thought it was best to kind of bring in some flash again. Again, cloudy day, not looking that interesting. There, that's actually flash. The sun wasn't hitting the model there. That's just my flash from the side. And that's me having a little chat. And again, that's flash again there. No, this was no flash. There was no flash hitting here at all. That was just the sun, I think. Or it might be, if you look really carefully, you can see there's a little bit of shadow under the nose, so that might have still been a bit of flash being shot there. But what I really wanted to make it a bit more obvious, a bit more dramatic looking. So I did a cross flash look. So again, this is an underexposing of the background, and then an upping of the actual flash exposures, and they were pointed straight towards her. Had a flash over to the left, over here, which was zoomed in, and that was going to give a kind of a rim light over here, and another flash on the right, which was as zoomed as wide as possible to give a kind of a bigger look to it. I think that was in an umbrella. I think it was. I'll just need to double check that one. But yeah, so that's how I kind of got those shots, and again, leaving dead space at either side, and above and below. So they might want to use it for a 2-page spread. They might just have it as a little picture at the side, but you've got to give them that option for them to do whatever they want. And again, yeah, definitely like shots, all that area at the side for them to put all the text or writing or headline of what the stories are about. And again, same kind of idea, arms folded, hands on hips, that's all you need to do to make them looking kind of strong and powerful. Obviously with the woman, you don't really want to have it as kind of dramatic as what it was with Hamish, because like with Hamish, male faces are better with strong shadows, but with Ruth here, it was worked out really well, just with that lighting coming from the side, so there wasn't strong, harsh shadows on her too much, but it was dramatic lighting, that's what it was. So right, that's just an idea of what I was doing, and so if you've got any more questions, put them on the blog, and I'll use those questions to fill up the book which I'm writing as well. So I hope that helps, and I'll see you guys later. Cheers, bye bye.